Everybody out there, can I get a heck yeah? Are we ready to go? This is Doug Fowler here. I got Stacy Ball in the office with me, in the studio, in the basement, wherever we call. Stacy, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to turn the cameras on and we'll be live. Now we are streaming live here in scenic St. Robert. It'll take a while for us to catch up on the screen here.
Okay.
Also, but we are live. We got you on the screen, and once I hit this button here, there we go. So how we doing?
I'm doing good, Doug. Thanks for having me back.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad to have you here. How's the campaign going?
It's going really good. Spent the last couple of weeks just putting up signs, putting up banners.
Right.
People calling me for signs and banners, getting them out there and getting them posted.
I started to see a lot of signage up. I see some digital signs. Who you know who's got those?
Digital signs?
Down by the car wash in Waynesville, by the turnoff to.
I haven't seen any.
Somebody's got some high tech signs, and by Paul's Furniture.
Oh, yeah.
They're big.
Yeah, they're out of my budget. I did call about them. They're out of my budget. Maybe August. Maybe if I can get some more campaign funds, maybe I could splurge for a few days, few weeks. But
somebody's thinking that's some nice signs.
Yeah, they are very nice. They're bright. I mean, they light up. They light up the night.
Strategically placed. It's like I see Lowe's campaign or business sign at the exit of 63 in Raleigh. You know, as soon as you pull off the exit, boom.
Yep.
Somebody was thinking. There's some good marketing skills right there. But anyway, we're here. We're glad to have you here. For those that aren't here or used to us and stuff like that, my name's Doug Fowler, Pulaski Talks, and as apolitical, non-partisan show for anybody and everybody, for businesses. Anybody wants to come on the show and talk about whatever. And I want to shout out to the sponsors, especially. Got you, Stacy. Thank you for sponsoring the show.
Yes, sir.
Our gold sponsor, of course, has been Mark Brew in the Brew Law office down in Waynesville, Missouri. Thank you so much to the office down there and the team. They've been our gold sponsors and key to making this thing happen and help us pay the bills. So before we get started, right after we get started, for those that weren't with us yesterday, we started a new little thing of Bob here, and I'm going to I'm going to show a demo of it right here, just for the Q&A to get the conversation started. And it may take a while for us to see it. And I don't know why that camera of mine went off focus, but it just does not like it. It ain't hurting nothing. But it's a little spin the wheel to major topics right there.
Look at that.
I think that's pretty high speed. I was pretty proud of myself figuring out how to do that. It took me a little bit, but I'm going to spin the wheel, and we're going to get this show gun started. Unless you're ready, you want to start with something else.
No, but let's start.
Okay. Now, I can see effective or right away what the topic is, and it's court systems. I know that's a favorite of the audience. I got 5 or 6 questions I wrote up for each one. Supporting the courts. Did I lose yours?
No, it's it.
That's probably me. I
hear static.
Well, that's probably the air conditioner.
Okay.
We can shut that off. We can make it a sweat box.
No, we're good.
Sure.
I just want to make sure that.
Yeah,
okay.
the audience. Yeah, you got some more.
All right, court
nice
system.
Cool.
Court system 500, Doug.
That's right. 500. Now you are 0, so that's a good idea. Jeopardy. That's a good idea. Stay tuned. We'll have something like this. Court system. What measures will you implement that are not already implemented to ensure the safety and security of the courts? And how will you balance those with the rights and dignity of those attending the court proceedings? Go ahead.
Well, first off, this time right now, the court marshals that work there, they do a phenomenal job. Right. I know them all. And they're very, Melissa Dunn is in charge of them all, and they do a great job in that court. But what I don't see is they're not brought in as a part of the sheriff's office. They're not when we do training, when we do qualification, we do stuff like that. They're kind of left on their own, right. Which I don't think that is correct. As if I'm sheriff and they're holding my commission, I'm responsible for their training. I'm responsible for everything they do. And I want to bring them under the sheriff's office. Granted, they have their own up there, but I'm talking for training sure. Purposes, they are law
enforcement.
For post training as well.
Yeah.
So they're not on their own. I mean, my ex-wife Christiana, she was a court marshal for a while, and I know firsthand how that was down there for them. And they managed to get by, but I think it could be a little easier on them, sure. Bringing them under the sheriff's office and making sure that. No, it's a team effort. It's a team fight. So if they need something, they need to be able to know that they can come to me as a sheriff and get what they need for training, for weapons qualification. I mean, that's all encompassing, sure. and they're kind of left on their own.
Now, what I don't know is about the budget. Do they fall under your budget, or if you were like,
no,
I don't know that.
No, what They're paid by the courts.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
it's kind of equal to the SROs are paid by the schools.
Right.
But the commission is generated by or controlled by the sheriff's.
Yeah, they hold my they hold my commission,
Okay.
or they hold the sheriff's commission, but they fall under Miss Beasley up there
Gotcha.
in her office, and work for her.
Okay.
She outfits them and stuff like that, which is great. That takes less off of
Sure.
my budget, but again, they hold a commission from me, or they hold a commission from the sheriff.
That's
And-
what do they sell? Self-effecting prophecy, something like that.
I need to take responsibility to make sure
Sure.
that they're trained and work with Miss Beasley to make sure that they have everything they need as well, and not just be neglected.
I think
was the AC
I just
quit.
shut that off. Yeah, I should thank God. I think I can know who said it, but if the bailiffs and the marshals in the courts are not there and can't be there, deputies will be in there.
That is the courts. The courts are our first priority.
Yeah,
Courts, paper service, road.
yeah, and a lot of people I don't think realize that.
No, they don't. We're fortunate to have that, and we're fortunate because most sheriff's office, the bailiffs,
Right.
and the court marshals, they fall under the sheriff's office, and they're from the sheriff's office, employed by them. But
Right.
I don't know when how that started or separated, but it's like that. I haven't seen any issues with it working like that, except for their training and their qualifications, stuff like that. That doesn't fall under the sheriff's purview, and I think it does, because if I'm responsible for their training and stuff, I want to make sure that they're trained properly.
Yeah, and I'd have to agree with you on that, because if you're responsible for everything but the budget, I have to agree with you on that. Next topic, I've already spun the wheel for you. Viewer topic, and I have one from a Mr. Jason Anderson. He posted it, sent it to me via text message, and this is about can take a guess what it's about?
Take a guess. Calls for service.
No, wrong. Constitutional sheriff. Picking up the theme here. So the question is, would you consider joining the CSPOA organization, which I assume, if I'm correct, is a Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officer Association, and your thoughts on the organization at large towards your constitutional duties as sheriffs? And this is from Mr. Jason Anderson, who I do not know, but I'll leave that with you. I have my opinion. Me and Nick got into it a little bit yesterday about the whole thing, but
Well, number one, I'm taking an oath on the Constitution, regardless.
right,
I fought for that Constitution for 20 years. I've fought for the Missouri Constitution and our Constitution for the last 14 or 12 years, rather. I've read different things on the constitutional sheriff. I've read the far right part of the constitutional sheriff, which I do not want to get into. I'm the sheriff. You're nonpartisan. I'm running on the Republican ticket. I'm a conservative by heart, nature. My values are conservative, but the sheriff is neither a conservative or a Democrat.
right.
I'm working for everybody, and
Great answer.
right.
Great answer. That was the win.
It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't
Sure.
question, I think. But number one, that Constitution is near and dear to my heart, the Missouri Constitution. So everything I do is supposed to will be by the Constitution,
Right.
the constitutional rights. So being a part of that organization doesn't. What's it going to give me as far as? Is it going to give me a bigger badge? Is it going to get me? I don't. I'm bound by the Constitution regardless, whether I call myself a constitutional sheriff or not. However, the way that this government is going, it is pushing me to, that towards a little bit to the right,
Right.
for that. But I'm not an extremist. I'm not I'm not going as far as leaving everybody else and coming over here.
Yeah.
And now I'm just with a certain group, and I'm not with a certain group. I'm with the whole group, and regardless of my affiliation, Republican or Democrat, my values, like I said, make me conservative, but being but I'm working for everybody, and
Sure.
that's the bottom line. The Constitution is our main source of what we enforce to make sure that your rights aren't violated, that her rights aren't violated, and
I pinged a certain lawyer downtown, and I told Nick to do the same. I hope you'll do the same. I'd like to expand on that conversation unrelated to the election, but maybe get some legal experts in here to talk about it too. So, because it seems that it's nebulous. It's very hard to put your hands around. Of course, I just like you support the Constitution, but I kind of look at it like my neighbor. If I grew up religion A, and my neighbor is religion B, I shouldn't hate him because he doesn't agree with my religion, and vice versa. He's still my friend.
Yeah.
Whether I live in St. Robert or Waynesville, I'm Democrat or Republican, you're still, or whoever's going to be my sheriff, and it doesn't mean you're going to answer the call any other way. I wish the position was not, or apolitical, or whatever you call it.
Well, the other thing too with that is, constitutional sheriffs believe they are the final constitutional. Well, let me backtrack on that. That they are the supreme law of the county. They are. We are the last constitutional officer to protect your rights from government overreach. I've said that a lot throughout my campaign. But I'm not going to look at myself as the supreme being of Pulaski County.
Right.
That to me mentally makes me seem like I'm up here.
Yeah.
And everybody else is down here. Like I think I talked to you about going back to the basement.
Sure.
As a leader, that's a tricky situation to get into, and the name and title doesn't make the leader. Your what you have inside, what you believe, and how you are as a person, and how you treat people, are makes you the leader.
I agree. I can't. It's about what you do, not who you are.
Yeah.
But who you are does guide what you do. But it's how you express yourself and do the things that you're going to do. Great. Thank you so much. Now, next topic. I've already spun the wheel for you. Bottom left. Your topic. You get to pick which one you want to talk about.
Bottom left. How do you see that?
The question topic is. Which would you like? You can pick any of the things, but you can't pick Doug's picks. That's mine. I got jail. I got a whole slew of things. I got administrative budget.
Let's go with patrol for 1,000, Doug.
Patrol for 1,000. I got it. Yeah, that's a trigger. There goes that credit card. I can feel it now. Patrols. Where's it at? Too much. There it is. Of course, it's the last one. Patrols for 1,000. We'll interagency collaboration. This may be too easy for you, but you're going to get it anyway. How do you intend to collaborate with other law enforcement agencies within and external, or internal to and external to the county, to enhance patrol efficiency and resource sharing with or within Pulaski County? I can repeat it if you want, but only once.
Yeah, say that first part again.
How do you intend? This is interagency collaboration specific to patrolling. We've got a lot of miles. How do you intend to collaborate with other law enforcement agencies, internal and external to Pulaski County, to enhance patrol efficiencies and resource sharing within the county? Because what we got, how many miles of road? 520
plus square miles of county.
And then most time, 2 to 4 on the road patrols currently?
Yes.
Individuals?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, number one, the cities obviously had their cities.
Right.
And the county has the county. And unless the city calls for the county, we shouldn't be in the cities at all. We need to be on the county roads. We need to be out in the county. We need to be enforcing the law out away from the cities, because they have their own jurisdiction.
Sure.
Anybody calls for help, we're there.
Right.
I think I don't think there has been an issue with any of that from any of the cities as far as they needing response or they needed some help, and the same with the cities. I've been out there where the cities have backed us up. So I don't see a problem with any of that, or I haven't seen a problem and I don't know of any problems now, but I mean, it's all a team effort. And the biggest thing is getting with the Chiefs, and St. Robert and Dixon, Crocker, Richland, and Waynesville, and making sure that we're all on the same sheet of music. You need me.
Sure.
I'm here. I need you. I want you. You know, I can count on you. So, and I don't think there would be an issue with any of that. As far as getting with other counties,
Right.
that's all talking to the sheriff of the counties, and several counties around here, they're getting new sheriffs.
Oh yeah, it is election.
So yes, so except for Phelps,
Right.
which is still Sheriff Kern, it's and I've got a good rapport, and I work for Sheriff Kern, so. And I've talked to some of the candidates for Camden County, for Marys County, and I've talked to one candidate from Phelps County. So I think from talking to them, I think we're all on the same sheet of music if we come to that problem where we need some assistance. But on top of that, because we don't have enough patrols in this county, and we never will, because our
Right.
budget don't support it.
Right.
So and that's an excuse. I got it. But like I talked before about with my battle map and having those areas where we have certain things going on where I want to saturate and we don't have enough patrols, that could be as simple as working with the counties, and you help me, I help you.
Sure. Sure.
They got areas they want to saturate, and then I want to help because they're helping me because I want that help. That's how we beef up the patrols. That's how we beef up and look and collect that intelligence and find that information that we need to make cases. So that I won't have a problem with that. The sheriffs that I've talked, or the sheriff candidates and the sheriff that I've talked to, I don't think they're going to have a problem with that, except for, it comes down to I can't be wearing out their manpower.
Well, exactly. They may have the same challenges as whoever becomes sheriff here. They may be limited.
And on top of that, I'm on the road.
Yeah.
When I do my admin stuff, I'm on the road.
It's a laptop. Got a laptop.
I don't know if that vehicle's it. I don't need a laptop. I have my computer in.
There you go.
But the sheriff needs to be. I believe as a sheriff, especially this small of a county, that's how you help your deputies out. You take those calls if the deputies are backed up, and citizens are calling for a deputy and they're tied up. I mean, that road lieutenant, road sergeant, I mean, they need to be out there about too.
Sure.
They finish their admin duties and they're out and about, and they're helping with the deputies, especially during the daytime, because daytime is probably the worst. But the nighttime is what I fear most, is because that's obviously dark, and you get called to that domestic and you only have one deputy out there, and the other one's tied up. I mean, I don't want to send a deputy there by himself. I felt that firsthand, losing complacency, and you almost die.
Right.
And I don't want that to happen to my deputies because of lack of manpower.
Yeah, I got you. Roger that. Thank you so much. Now, this is the toughest question you probably have all night. Bottom left of the screen, you'll see it. Sprinkles or no sprinkles on the donut?
Oh, sprinkles.
Hey,
Sprinkles
man.
are for winners.
There, sprinkles are for winners.
Yes.
Commercial. All right, we'll spin it again. What do we got? Going wild here. We're making progress, and everybody knows it. Jail topic. Now, understanding, and I believe everybody that was watching Nick last night too, and I think me and Stacy were talking about this. Of course, we can't comment on what's been happening down there. They got that. I don't empathize with whoever wins the election, but I'm glad that we do have some decent people in that department that are be able to handle it with the support of the state patrol, as the best I understand. But anyway, inmate rehabilitation. We're talking jail now. And you probably know a lot more about this than I do when I came up with this question. What programs or initiatives do you plan to implement to ensure the to attempt to improve the rehabilitation and successful reintegration of inmates into society after their release?
Wow.
It's open-ended.
Yeah. The biggest thing for the jail is those that we bring in that are high on methamphetamine and fentanyl, heroin. So that most aren't in there long. If they're in there for a long time, they're in there because they're probably getting ready to go to prison.
Right.
They're waiting. They're waiting on. They're on murder charge. They're on some serious charge where they're going to end up. They're fighting the court system, and they're fighting their challenges and to extend their stay before they go to prison. But for the most part, the jail, especially now, the jail is it's not really an extended stay for anybody. As soon as the Missouri Supreme Court kind of got us on that back in January 2022, when they put out that if it's nonviolent crime, the judges will hand down an attainable bond, house arrest, or probation. So we're not keeping anybody in there unless they got a major offense for $1 million anymore.
Sure.
They're getting out and they're getting bonded. So they're not in there long enough to be rehabilitated. But one of the best things about that is though when they are in there is access to the churches.
Sure.
Having I know we have one pastor or one church. I'm illiterate on it. I'm not going to even try and tell you how they do it, but I know there is a church affiliation down there, but I want to open that up more.
Okay.
I want to have more services for those in there that if we can reach somebody through the pastors or through the jail ministry program, that I've talked to someone about that, and I can expand on that in a little bit, but pretty telling story. But the jail ministry program or the jail ministry, I think, should be open up to more of our ministers in the churches, because I've talked to a lot of churches. A lot of churches do want to help.
Right.
They want, but they've never been asked, or they have asked and fill out the background check, and that's the last they hear about it. Yeah, you got to be cleared to go down there. You got,
sure.
And it does take manpower, because you're putting inmates into an area where you got a minister, you got a Bible study or jail ministry going on. So that does take up manpower, and you may not be able to do it every day. And I don't think I can do it every day, but I want to get more of a variety of ministers, because you coming down to minister to me, I may not feel anything, but then I have somebody else come in and minister to me, and I like it. So.
Right.
Everybody's different. Everybody's got different religions. Everybody's got a different person or purpose. But I really think that the word of God for those inmates, because they are at the rock bottom, and it granted, you're going to have onesies and twosies that go in there that just to get out of their cell or get out of the pod or whatever. I got that, but that's one area right there that I think can touch more people with a different variety, or more of a variety of touching on their religion and trying to show them that there is redemption, show that there is a way out. You're not, everybody's there for a reason, but they're still a human being, and it's their constitutional right.
You're right.
Have the freedom of religion.
Yeah.
So we may have a Jewish inmate down there that wants to talk to a Rabbi.
Yeah.
So, that should be on us to find a rabbi and say, clear them. And it's not always going to work like that, but we gotta try, because the more we fight against the inmates, the more crap like this happens.
Right.
If I can keep them happy, then, and satisfied to a point, then and have detention officers down there that are going to treat them with dignity and respect, and be fair and honest with them, and not screw with them.
Right.
That's just less of a hassle that they have to deal with. And I'm a firm believer, because I've seen it both ways. I've seen it where they piss them off right before they get off shift, just for the next shift to come on and take them, and now they're riled up.
Nice.
So that does nothing for nobody except for the next shift. Now the next shift's got to fight with them. So one of the other things too, it's not really a real rehabilitation program, but I know Phelps County uses this communications partner with a contract where every inmate up there in Phelps County has a tablet. With that tablet, right now, I think I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's 5 tablets per pod and they got to share them. Well, this contractor, communication contractor, they give each inmate an iPad or a tablet, and on that tablet they can't get on the internet, but they can download music, they can download movies, they can download talk time to do video calls and stuff like that. That's their tablet. So if you got they're all occupied. They're all preoccupied with that tablet, whether it's watching movies, listening to music, killing that time instead of watching my detention officer, seeing their every move, or just thinking about how they can screw things up or piss people off or whatever. So
it's kind of like riding in the backseat on a long trip. You got something to do.
And on top of that, all that that's money for the jail.
Yeah,
that's money for the jail coming into the jail.
Yeah.
So. Great. We don't have as many inmates as Phelps County. I know they make a pretty good penny. And being as I can't house federal inmates right now, the jail's got to make money somehow, because if we don't have at least 75 in there, then we're losing money.
Really?
The county's losing money. So
ouch.
If we don't have that, we got to have another way to make money. And I say that like it's a money making operation, but but they're in there. They're getting money on their books. And it's a way for them to cope instead of, fighting about things and thinking about other things and thinking about their drugs or thinking about it, being bad or being a pain in the butt for the detention officer.
Wow. Yeah. I hadn't thought, you gotta keep the mind engaged. I mean, I can't, I have spent a night, but that's a long time ago. I was young. But it shaped my whole life. But that's not a place I want to go back to. But just day upon day, you got to have something to do.
Well, yeah, talking to other sheriffs, I mean, how they do things. I mean, I've learned a lot, especially from Sheriff Kern, about how, the things that they do, because their jail is more or less like ours.
Right.
But there's a lot of things out there that we just, I mean, we don't try, we don't attempt, and it might cost some money to get started, but once it gets started, it makes us money. But everybody's got an iPad. They got $1,000 tablet in their hand.
Yeah.
So how do they pay that back? They pay that back by, now granted, we're not paying for the communication company's making money too.
Sure.
So, but it's one breaks, they give us another one. So I want to check that out. I want to check that communication contract out. Awesome
answer. I spun to this screen real quick, everybody. Remember the number below if you got a question. Next topic is I had a viewer topic, but nobody's online right now that I can tell. Or if you do have a question, make sure you poke it now. See the button, see the number at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you call it, area code 573-408-0339. If you have a question, or if you just want to post it on there, I'm going to go back to the spin the wheel, because if I remember right, I believe it's your choice. Let's let it catch up here. Guest choice. What would you like to have? Yes. What did you go last time?
I went patrol.
Patrol. Okay, you can go again. You got 10 questions, but I think you'll use your 500.
You pick one. Pick a page.
Let's see. Administrative, one of my favorite. We talked about that. No, let's do that. Technology utilization. You kind of touched on that with the jail.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the status, so to speak, of their technology levels with the sheriff's department, if they're using Windows 95 still, or they have modern equipment. And this kind of ties into this question: in what ways will you leverage this technology that's available to us? Maybe not monetarily, but available to us if we were to get them purchased, to streamline admissions processes and improve the overall efficiency of the sheriff's department. So how would you use technology? Streamline the what process? The overall efficiency of the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
And you may not know. I don't know what the current state of technology is down there.
Well, it's your basic technology. But we do have a good IT guy.
Right.
Well, Rex Harrison is amazing. So I mean, something happens, goes down, or we lose something. I mean, he's able to find it. He's phenomenal with his job. So. But we're not running on anything fancy down there as far as systems. We're running on Crime Star for a database,
mm-hmm.
and I like Crime Star. I've worked Crime Star. I've worked the Highway Patrol system. The Highway Patrol system, I come to like. It's a lot more user friendly, and but Crime Star. I mean, Crime Star is what it is. Then we have added to NIBRS is now added. It used to be the UCR for FBI reporting.
Right.
So now it's called NIBRS, and that's something that a lot of people don't know. And if you don't put your NIBRS in, if you don't put your codes in, then you could possibly lose money.
Really?
From whatever support that the federal government gives the county for law enforcement, which I don't know if there's any, but there are funds that come in. It might even be federal grants, but that NIBRS is a pain in the butt.
Sure.
We got a couple. Well, all the deputies are pretty proficient in NIBRS now. I mean, it's been out there for a couple years, but and we got a good. One of our corporals down there was trained on NIBRS, and like when I first went in there to start, because I wasn't really familiar with NIBRS, and it was, I mean, she just talked me through it. I'm like, oh, but you can't have a 1 with a 2 and a 2 with. I mean, it's kind of weird, but it's a federal reporting, and it's mandated
right.
To do it. So,
is it what about for my knowledge, just email? Messaging between the SharePoint, stuff like that. Do they have something like that set up, or is it just mostly just email going back and forth? Everybody has their own email address.
Well, yes, everybody's got their own email through the Sheriff's Department email. The biggest thing that I see like looking at other sheriff departments is their website. There's a lot of things that we could do with that website to make it more user friendly. Different programs and I think it was you. It might have been you and me talking about. It might have been me and Jeff. Something on there about our deputies. A little bite.
Oh,
like
yeah, exactly. I was mean you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you brought that up, but I retained that. And but I mean, that's something like somebody's curious about the deputies working down there. They can just click on.
Is this really a deputy?
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be an elaborate, but just a little background on what they do and what each section does. The road patrol, the detective bureau, our PCERT team, our narcotics, stuff like that. So, and then phone numbers and all that good stuff. And there's a lot of that stuff onto the website, but I look at some of the, and again, it costs money.
Sure. Somebody's
got to maintain it. Somebody's got to, and I don't know who that, I don't know if it's somebody in the county. I don't know if it's Rex. I don't know if it's an outside agency. I'm not in there to know yet, but comparing our website to other counties, I see a big difference, and I think there's a lot more information we can put on there for the public.
I concur. One thing I kind of pinged them one time. They were publishing information that did not seem to be under the umbrella of the Sheriff's Department. I kind of pinged them because next thing you know, every different office head in the county was publishing different versions of the same information. And if you do become sheriff, somebody needs to take a lead of the information coming out of that building, whether it's the commissioners or they don't have a public affairs that I know.
Well, no, they don't have public affairs anymore, and that is a huge deal. If we post one word wrong, I mean that could be that. I mean that could be a lawsuit.
Sure.
Yes, we do have it, but we have. I don't know if JB is still public affairs. I think he was at one time helping with some of the writings and things like that. I mean, he's a writer.
Yeah, absolutely. Who's better qualified?
But I know we had that system in place. I don't know that anyone's been school trained on that yet, but I know there has been some posts out there where that have been caught by people that hey, we can't write that, we can't say that.
Yeah, and it wasn't just that. I think the issue I took was the topic area. Was nowhere under the umbrella of the Sheriff's Department, to the best of my knowledge. And somebody was on the keyboard typing away, providing this update regarding underwater basket weaving. And then I actually paid, why is the Sheriff's Department talking about this? Don't you have something else to do? And I was kind of upset. But anyway, hopefully one day we'll get a public affairs officer down at the county, or at least somebody to volunteer in that role. Next question topic is Doug's picks. Now, from the greatest movie of all time, Shaun of the Dead.
What movie?
Shaun of the Dead.
Okay.
What is the name of the pub that is central to Sean's plan for survival? A, the King's Head. 2, the Golden Lion. 3, the Winchester. Or 4, the Rose and Crown. I'll give you a hint.
3.
Winchester is it for 500 points. We get a round of applause going to push the button, push the work. All right, Doug's things work pretty good.
Well, I was going to ask to phone a friend. That's another idea.
Did I hear you from a strategic planner? All right, let's wait for the wind to spin the wheel spin and see what's next. We'll give you one more question and we're going to let you go. I know you have better things to do than entertain the entire populace of Pulaski County and beyond. A, Simon Pegg. You may know him from Star Trek as well. B, Nick Frost. C, Edgar Wright. Or D, George A. Romero.
Oh. D. Oh.
Let's need drum but no, you're wrong. Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright's it.
I'm going to have to watch that movie.
It's an awesome movie. One of the favorites. It's actually a trilogy. And for those that are watching at home and live across the nation, it's part of a trilogy called the Cornetto Trilogy. And the only thing in common they have is within the movie is the name of the snack they eat. It's Cornetto. It's a drumstick. But it's directed by the same director, Edgar Wright. Stars Nick Frost, Simon Pegg, and a few others that are always in it. It's the humor that's just stupid funny, and I love it. It's British humor.
Is it kind of, so it's kind of like
Monty Python.
Monty Python.
But it's smart though. It's British humor smart. Last question. I'm going to hit you up with the courts again.
Okay.
Warrant execution. This is obviously something down to your bailiwick. You know this. How do you optimize the process for executing warrants to ensure that this is done swiftly, justly, while considering the resource constraints across the county?
I know several of our officers went through a warrant service training,
right?
So that's a plus. But for the first thing with a warrant, number one, you need to know where they're at. Now you're talking just a civil warrant for like Doug,
right?
Okay, yeah. The biggest thing is that search warrant itself, the probable cause. The probable cause has got to be it's got to be correct. You got to have the location. You got to make sure that you have that location. The other thing too is you need to have surveillance somewhere on that in case the person leaves.
Sure.
So you can either call it off or find out where where they're going. Because I've done a couple of search warrants, person search warrants. And that took, that was out in Dixon. The big one was out in Dixon. I mean, I had Dixon police officer out, Dixon police out there. The chief at the time was out there, and then all my people from county. Anytime you do a service or a search warrant, there's always Murphy in there somewhere.
Oh, sure.
So when you're serving a search warrant for an individual, it's just as dangerous as a narcotic search warrant. You don't know what their frame of mind is. You don't know if they're going to have a weapon. You don't know anything. You just know that person's in there. So your team, we don't have a trained tactical team right now. We have people that come together that know tactics, but we don't have anybody that's been through the training.
Right.
We don't train for it. And that again is a potential for something bad happens. That's a potential for a lawsuit.
Sure. Because
the first thing they're going to do is show me where they've had training. 8 hours a month is what they're supposed to have.
Really?
So it's an excuse. They're working their butts off.
Yeah.
And to call them in on training and not being able to afford them comp time, they can't come in for free. They're coming in on strength. That's the law. You can't bring them in for free. So you got to do something. You got to give them comp time. And that's always been the biggest hold up on that training is from past years is we need to train, but we're not giving the comp time. So we're going to ask you to come in and train. And they will.
Okay.
They will come to but they're not getting comp time. But you have those few that want to be on the team and they're not getting comp time, so they're not going to show up. So there's a fine line with that. There needs to be money in the budget for compensation to award that comp time.
Sure.
If I'm asking them to come in on their own time, on their day off, after they just worked a 12-hour shift, now they're going to do 4 hours of training. And then the next week we're going to do another 4 hours of training for that 8 hours.
Unpaid.
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't even fathom. Why would I show up?
So
I mean, other than duty, I feel duty and I'm compelled, but that only goes so far.
If they were making $67,000 a year, I mean, I'll give some time, but they're not. So I can't ask them to go above and beyond. Well, I can't ask them to go above and beyond. And for the most part, like I said, there's been people show up and they're pissed they ain't got no comp time. But if somebody found out about it, I mean, that's they're going to get in trouble.
I put on my budget hat, and what that happens, what occurs when they don't actually capture the cost. You don't know the true cost of operating the entire department unless you pay the bills that need to be paid, or at least account for them. Otherwise, you don't have it. You just don't. Yeah, and I learned from my previous hats, the only way to capture the true cost of an organization is to capture the true cost and pay the bills that need to be paid.
Yep.
Got a question from Darren Pershear. Darren, are you an SRO, an SSO, and what commission do you hold for the Raleigh Area Drug Task Force?
I hold a Phelps County commission for the Raleigh Area Drug Task Force.
Okay.
And I am I'm not an SSO. I know what he's getting at.
Okay.
And I'll put it out there, Darren. I lost my commission from Pulaski County.
Okay.
For posting a picture of me and Miss Team Missouri on Facebook, which I got sent a commission where I lost my commission for posting that because I didn't have the sheriff's permission. There's other factors that go into that. It started back in October when someone called me or sent me some messages, need my help, because they had a complaint against the sheriff. So I helped that person and went to the prosecutor. And I'm running for sheriff. I want this off my hands. I don't want to have nothing to do with this, but here you go. He got me the information. I give it to her, and then she did whatever she did with it. And I believe she did call Troop G DDCC. That obviously pissed a lot of people off or made a lot of people mad. So not too long after that, I posted a picture and lost my commission. I feel it's for political purposes. But until, I've heard things, I was talking bad about the sheriff's office. What? I didn't lose my commission for talking bad about the sheriff's department.
I can't imagine somebody do that.
I talked bad about, I didn't talk bad. I was ruffling the jail administrator, and the leadership, because there wasn't, well, we've seen that. There was none. So the sheriff took my commission, and now I still work for the school district.
Right.
I'm security for the school district. So I hold a commission in Phelps County for Raleigh Area Drug for Phelps County, and I'm assigned to the Raleigh Area Drug Enforcement, and I'm also a detective out in Crocker.
But you have commission from Crocker as well. That's what I thought. I remember reading an article, Daryl Todd or whatever was published.
Yeah.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Darren? I'm assuming it will, because we're running out of time anyway. But thank you so much for your question. I do appreciate it. And as I told you, you can answer what questions you want to answer.
Yeah.
So, but I appreciate you answering it. Without and further ado, we're going to wrap this up on a positive note. Stacy, thank you so much for coming.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Doug.
And if you want to come in sooner before your next scheduled time, which I can't remember what it is, I think it's June 11th, just give me a call. We'll set it up.
Okay.
I'm going to figure a way to be mobile. If we get at the pontoon boat, get out there, have a cigar. I don't know if you quit smoking. You can.
Yeah, I can't smoke. I quit smoking.
So with that, I want to thank sponsors again. Thank you so much. I'm going to put you on mute so you can talk bad about me. And thanks so much to Prue Law office down in Waynesville, Missouri for making this happen. Special thanks to Hicks Special Services for being a sponsor. A2Z A2Z Exterminating. Thank you so much for being a sponsor, and give everybody a shout out. And then Stacy, thank you for being a sponsor as well, and to Brian and to Nick, and helping make this possible to get the voters a way to reach out and know who you are and get to know you. So with that, we're going to flip to the credits, and you get to see a story about my cats. So 1, 2, 3, go.